A blessed morning to all. Welcome to Shanta Ravi. For many years, I walked exactly in the footsteps of my father. His devotion to Lord Muruga was my foundation. I realize now that Krishna was using that warrior spirit of Muruga to prepare me for the long, lonely battles I would later face. He knew when he had to own me. The turning point came in the year 2000. I was reading a magazine supplement, something I had done many times before. But that day, my eyes fell on a single suggestion for my Rashi. It will be good if you pray to Krishna. In that split second, I felt a click in my soul, like Vilbamangal Thakur, who gave up everything the moment he was reminded of the Lord. I felt an instant, unshakable connection. That same year, I visited Guruvayur. I wanted a tiny photo for my hostel room, but my brother-in-law insisted me on a larger one. Since that day, in every job shift and every house move, my Krishna is the first one I pack. We travel together. The transformation deepened through service, preparing prasad, observing Ekadashi, chanting Maha Mantra, followed with few activities which Krishna likes. I never questioned about my transformation, but the answer was given to me in Bhagavad Gita. I thought it is worth for you all to know that. Here it is. Krishna says in chapter 10, I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Marutis, I am Marishi, and among the stars, I am the moon. Of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth. Of the Vasus, I am fire. And of mountains, I am Meru. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brahaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Of the great sages, I am Brihu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of holy names. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree. And of the sages, among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Citradada. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Of horses, know me to be Uchaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata. And among men, I am the monarch. Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki. Of the many-hooded Nagas, I am Ananda. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapon, I am Rama. Of vicious, I am Shark. And of flowing rivers, I am Ganges. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. And among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Of letters, I am the letter A. And among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time. And of creators, I am Brahma. I am all devouring death. And I am generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brahat Sama, and of poetry I am the Gayatri. Of months I am Margashrisha, and of seasons I am flower bearing spring. I am the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Of the descendants of Rishini I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas I am Arjuna. Of the sages I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers I am Ushana. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness I am punishment, and of those who seek victory I am morality. Of secret things I am silence, and of the wise I am the wisdom. I understood then that my dad's Muruga and my Krishna were not different. Krishna is the source of all that energy. He is everything and nothing is above him. The big message is that trust the divine nudge. Sometimes God speaks through a book, a magazine, or a random suggestion. If your heart clicks, don't ignore it. It's an appointment letter from the hero. Preparation precedes possession. Krishna used my Muruga years to make me strong so that I could eventually handle the depth of his love. Your past practices are never wasted. They are building the receptors for your future faith. As I walk further, my only prayer is not for health or wealth, but for my bhakti to keep growing. When you have the source, you have everything. If you feel a new call in your heart today, follow it. You aren't leaving your roots, you're finally seeing the flower bloom. This is Shantaravi, and we are united in faith together. Hare Krishna.